So, hello guys, what's up? I'm Esther Kemi, and welcome to another episode, of telling African stories. Yeah, it's telling African stories, our own stories, not other people's stories, our stories. It's something that, we need to put to heart. It's something that we need to have, at the back of our minds every time, whether we make films or we don't make films. We have that responsibility to tell our own stories. Sometimes African stories to you may not be like African stories. It may be like your family story, it may be your personal story, it may be your work story, it may be, your journey kind of like story. It can be your cousin's journey, story, if you understand what I mean. So it's or what you experience is yesterday, may just be the story that you have, but it's a story that being honest with yourself, and whatever conditions and situation you find yourself, that story, being able to pass it across, to your audience or to your viewers, in a truthful way and in a way that they will also benefit from it and enjoy your experience, at the same time being able to record that moment in time. So telling African stories is not something that we can shy away from. It's our story, it's something that we are proud of, and it's something that we intend to push out to the world, because the world needs to know our stories, and not just the bad stories. It's the beautiful stories, the good stories, it's the interesting stories, it's the unique stories that makes us African. So today I'll just breeze through a couple of things that you need to think about if you're interested, like me, in telling African stories. Obviously, while you have a film in mind, or a story, or a video, or a clip, or whatever it is that you want to put together, you need to have an idea. What exactly are you thinking about? What do you think that, or what's bothering you, or what is the thing that you want people to, you have an opinion about, everybody gets to post things on Facebook, Instagram and all that, Twitter, and different opinions. Has it ever occurred to you that you can actually make that into a film? Now, that's where the idea is. We have lots of ideas, and then being able to bring it into a setting, being able to give it some form of platform, is where the film comes in. So you have the idea, you put it into that platform, and everything, and call it a concept. That's your concept. Your concept, you're able to build in the protagonist and then the antagonist, or whatever else somebody is, is going to get, whatever person is going to get involved. And then you're going to also develop the arc, what's going to happen at the beginning, like the three acts, the act one, act two, act three. All those comes into the outline. So you have your idea, your concept. Of course, you have your synopsis, which is also called your treatment. And then you have your outline. So with your outline, you can build your scripts. Usually your scripts, you want it printed once you're done. But your script essentially shows, what the outline of your film is. But now with dialogue, if you're doing sort of like a narrative, you want actors to act it out and all that. So they need to have lines. So the script gives you those lines, and then also a little bit of description, of what is happening. So that's with the script, and so once those details are put in, obviously there's a lot of back and forth to ensure that it works right. It's passing across your initial idea. It's also passing across your initial premise. Your premise is what you want your audience to feel after they finish watching the film. Like that. So as much as possible, if you're having a project, and you want to tell African stories, and you want to tell it in the medium of film, you need to have a script. It's, when you have something unscripted, then anything can happen, and then, it will be probably like, anything that happens, you just accept, sort of like spontaneous, which is something that you want to avoid, especially in situations where there's something specific you want to push across. But if there's nothing, and you just have an overall general sort of like thinking, then you may be able to work out with an outline and then flow, but a script is very essential. For our film Omolara, we had a script, despite the fact that it was a documentary, and documentaries tend not to be heavily scripted because you don't know what the people that you'll be interviewing will be saying, but then you still have an outline, you have a guide that would lead you with the questions and stuff like that. So Please, if you're going to be telling African stories, you're going to be telling your stories, because I think it's a good time. 2020 is a good time to think about it. What stories do you want to leave behind? Because obviously we're not going to be here forever. So without much ado, see you next week, Monday, and don't forget to keep telling those stories.